What's up, everybody? I just dropped a video, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 by the time this video is uploaded. And that was the information that Call of Duty had been dropping on Twitter. Well, like right after that video went up, they went ahead and dropped this blog post, or intel, whatever you want to call it, for Vanguard Season 1, introducing Caldera, your new home for Call of Duty Warzone Pacific. I will, as usual, have this link down below, if you want to go over this in great detail, we can. Right here just kind of is summarizing what we saw in the last cinematic trailer when they went and actually met Captain Butcher, who is down in the bunkers in Verdansk that had just recently opened up, and he kind of tells them a story about everything that happened in the Pacific. And that's kind of highlighted there. The big thing here is the map, which we had in the previous video, and I had that Twink link down below. You can also check out this blog post, like I said, that I've linked down below if you want to check out this image again. The big thing below that is December 8th, Vanguard owners get 24-hour exclusive access. And then it says, after this exclusive period, Caldera, they do have Rebirth for everyone that doesn't have Vanguard. And then after the 8th, so on the 9th, Caldera becomes accessible to all players, with Rebirth Island returning later in the season, meaning they're going to force you to play Caldera if you want to play Warzone. They're going to take away Rebirth, make you play Caldera, and then later, sometime in Season 1, we'll get Rebirth back. I know it's going to upset some people, but I definitely know they want the user rating high on this new map after all the work they put in. One interesting point here that I saw some people point out after this map was released that I didn't notice at first was there was some speculation when the time period was for this map. People suspected it was going to be in modern day, just on this island, but you can see right here, December 8th, 1944. Orange just has points of interest, I guess, within the general areas. A lot of little points of interest, especially down in Capital. And then there's a lot inside of fields, but they're very spread out. And then and you can see there's a bunch of little points of interest within the main ones. Naval Arsenal. I'm not going to read through all these descriptions. I'm just going to look at the images for a second, kind of go over what I notice. Here's like a big ship repair area. You got some cranes, so I'm sure you'll have some people up here sniping. I'm sure it's going to probably not be your plan to get caught down here. That just seems like a disadvantage. With not many exit points and there being big walls around, 2 cranes where people will probably be sniping, as well as some other buildings. And so you're probably not going to spend too much time down here unless you have to for contracts or just whatever. Maybe you camp out in one of these tents. But otherwise, you'll probably mainly play the cranes, these buildings around. Industrial docks, you can see here, they kind of remade shipment in here, and they even point that out here. Entire shipment yard, emphasis on the word shipment. Now you can see some buildings that are kind of similar to the ones that we have in like Salt Mine and we had in Quarry. It looks like a similar shaped building here. And that's our look at industrial docks. Then runway, we have this kind of jungle runway with a hangar here. Little shack here. I don't expect people to be hanging out in here too much, maybe unless they're camping a building, but it looks like it's going to be pretty wide open here. Then we go to ruins. I like the look of ruins. It's pretty. I definitely think it's going to be more of a rotational area. I don't see anywhere really good to camp unless maybe this building's a good camp spot. And this would be a really interesting end game to me with all these little corners, these little multiple levels and stuff. Then we have phosphate mines. It just wouldn't be a map without some kind of mine, I guess. Let's see. Nothing too crazy looking here. So I actually should see if there's anything interesting in these descriptions just to point out really quick. With area half hidden in the jungle, you'll navigate past single dwellings and ruined farmsteads. Then we have the ruins. Find these close to rapidly flowing stream and venture east through a jungle gully to discover larger ruins within the hillside forest. Other surprises include a series of tiered pools and verdant hot springs. Phosphate mines, this is what caught my attention and why I decided to go back to the descriptions. Let's see. Smaller factories, rail lines, embarkments, which all offer mixed engagement types. Operators can also investigate a large factory compound, look for older mine workings, and stumble across a redacted with its own redacted, or explore the outer reaches containing secondary workings, runoff pools, conveyor belt structures, unloading bays, containment pools, and even a remote gas station or grocery store. I assume this is going to play similar to Quarry and Salt Mine did. You probably have a lot of people, up on this hill, people hiding in these buildings, and it'll be kind of a dangerous area to rotate through. Peak, we know it's going to be the top of the mountain, or the top of the volcano in this case, because Caldera means volcano. This is the high ground. Dominating the center of the map is a colossal peak of dormant volcano, after which the entire island is named. The height advantage you receive for landing atop the Caldera throat and Axis military battery installation under construction here is counterbalanced by the exposed nature of the environment. Rock outcrops can offer respite should the area become a hot drop, as can the main gondola station that shuttles from Peak toward the runway, or the magma chamber and what was built during its slumber. So you can see it is wide open. I like that there's some fog here, so if you're up top, you can't just see everything down in the map. Hopefully that fog is pretty intrusive, so people can't just snipe down to the map from here. And they mention it's pretty open, but it's only really open to the people that are up there. If you're down low, it's not really going to be open. Obviously, it'll be easy to hide. So hopefully that doesn't just become some sniper haven that's hard to push up to. Like I mentioned, you got the gondolas, and like I figured they were going up to the peak. Beachhead. Cut into the dunes on the island northwest coast, a sprawling network of trench defenses sits below the communication center, radar array, barracks, and large-scale military compound, all built in the anticipation of beachfront storming. Farther south is battery replacements juxtaposed against a village of bamboo homes, sitting on either side of the river gorge with plenty of main roads, dirt tracks, footpaths, goat trails, and jungle overgrowth to traverse all directions. So you see these little bases here, got some anti-aircraft or ship guns right here, and they mentioned there'll be some small buildings like bamboo homes close by that you'll be able to explore. Those bunkers look similar to the ones we see in Verdansk, so maybe they'll have the same layout. And then these buildings here kind of look like the ones that became like the barrack housing in Military Base in the 1984 map, so those will probably play similar to that. River Village. Despite the remains of a cargo ship and recent gun emplacements tactically positioned on foothills west of Peak, a small village, bamboo huts, footbridges, paddy fields, and craggy slopes remain untouched and are ready to be explored. Farther south and east is the main tarmac thoroughfare that circumvents the entire caldera. Either side of its wilderness interspersed by light industrial compounds, more modern structures from the 1930s, and suburban dwellings cut into the hillside with anti-aircraft emplacements there to deal with traffic from the adjacent airfield. So it's just kind of an open area with little shacks. I'm sure people will camp in. Looks like it's probably going to be more of a rotational area because there's just not a lot of good cover. You're pretty exposed behind these, and you don't really get good cover being on top because they're not super tall. So it looks like it's going to be more of a rotational area unless people are camping in these huts. Clearwater Lagoon. I'm sure people will be sniping up on this tower. Or lighthouse, sorry. I like that there's walkways and ladders up as well as a zip, so it's not super easy to camp this building, but it doesn't look like it'd be that hard with a couple careful like claymore or prox mine placements. An old lighthouse proudly overlooks shallow bay that holds generation-spanning bamboo huts alongside a quaint coastal community with more recently constructed homes. Traverse the lagoon to uncover its secrets, including what remains of Captain Butcher's plane. Hopefully this water will be swimmable in. Like I mentioned, they did say hop into a stream in the trailer. Once again, I think people will snipe up here. It looks like you'll get a pretty good view of all this in front of you. Maybe the trees will make that kind of harder. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to think of exactly where this is on the map, but I don't know what you'll do with this area too much. It'll be interesting to see. I think it'll mostly be like, hey, let's snipe here. If you can't jump into the ocean, you won't be able to jump off this backside, so it'll be kind of cornered and probably one way in, one way out, and like I said, just people sniping. Caldera Terminal. Once again, we have an ATC. Hopefully there's some zips to get up here and not just this walkway. The biggest problem with ATC in Verdansk was there was only one way up, and it was a zip line and an elevator shaft, so you couldn't jump off it like you can on the outdoor ones now, and it was just how to push, as we all know. The island's primary airfield has no shortage of aircraft or buildings to explore, including smaller support structures for personnel and a control tower with more than one point of entry. Perfect. Those wanting cover from the exposed tarmac and gaping entrances to each of its hangars may want to head towards a section of buildings near the village or to the southern coastal border where Allied military forces set up their base of operations. So it sounds like it's going to play very similar to Airport. I hope... I don't know why I keep right-clicking. Sorry. I hope the building inside is more playable than the airport building we have now. I hope it's more similar to like an expansive train station. I just hate the way the building plays now, where there's kind of just that open middle area and then the little shops and awkward verticality. Agricultural Center. By far the largest main point of interest on Caldera are the fertile agricultural fields just south of the volcano, as well as numerous small farms. There's light industrial depots containing agricultural machinery and storage, an administration center, water towers, stables, and other landmarks to pinpoint when you're navigating the undulating and lush landscape of these parts. From numerous remote farm buildings, silos, and lakes to logging camps, a military outpost, and communication towers, and rocky crags, these are plenty of combat opportunities and routes to all of Caldera's southern zones. So I assume it's going to play pretty much like if you took farmland now and just placed it in the middle of the map. This water tower being a sniper point, this bridge probably being a sniper point, looking down in here, and then a lot of houses and buildings like you have in farmland. Shark's Lair submarine pen. Then another corner or edge of the map where you're not going to be able to jump into this ocean, so you won't be able to rotate out this way. So there's really going to be like one main way in and out, and it'll be along this road and like down in from the sides. But it'd be pretty easy to hold people out of this rotation, especially if you're up on this hill here. Cut into a natural cove along the eastern coast of Caldera is the island's largest military installation. The ominous subpen nicknamed the Shark's Lair, built by Axis forces to house its naval U-boats, including one still moored here. The lair is a massive interior space to explore and hold. Outside of it, several outbuildings and a bunker compound, complete with complex underground tunnel system, can be explored to gather necessary supplies or contracts. So there's going to be some underground play. There'll be a lot of in-building play like we're familiar with. Small hangars here. And just, it'll be a lot of building play mostly. A little bit of outplay, especially if people are, or outside play, especially if people are rotating out of here. And like I said, you're up on this hill, maybe in these jungles here, to be able to catch people on rotations. Caldera Power Plant, like I pointed out when we were going over the trailer in the last video, we have the same cell towers still here. So, you know, you'll get some people sniping up there. But as Verdansk evolved, less and less people use this, so I don't expect they'll get used that much. A medium-sized power plant with a pair of smokestacks dominates the upper floodplain just south of the airfield. Sticking out from lush greenery, stepped waterfalls, and ancient ruins found elsewhere in the area. Venture farther south from the plant to find a large radio antenna and a civilian radio station. Probably a tough area to rotate through with all the buildings and the hills here. I do like that it seems like all these areas won't exactly be easy to rotate, but I hope that doesn't encourage camping. Here you can see our look at what will probably become the burger restaurants, or burger towns, and then gas stations. These will probably be the updated versions here. We got factory. I'm sure you'll be able to get towards the top of these smokestacks and snipe like you can in factory now. And some factory-shaped buildings. I'm sure people will play these buildings a lot. This might be a replacement for the triple white buildings here that you'll see a lot. Caldera Capital City. Like I figured in the trailer, this is the Capitol building. Hopefully there's a lot of playable area within this building, and they don't block off too many rooms. Set into a huge natural basin along the southern shores of the island, Caldera's main city offers a variety of historical structures to take control of, including the Royal Theater, main Capitol building, and Art Deco structures like the fire station and police station set on either side of the working tramway system. Along the western edge of the Capitol, a hillside suburbia and lighthouse offers space and height compared to bustling downtown on a main street, while coastal developments south of the city offer a luxurious beachfront yacht club and a bar where a squad could be prematurely celebrating their battle royale victory. Whew, struggled there. Hopefully there's not like a sniper point to get up here or something. Hopefully you can't get up top here because probably only be one way up there. Like I said, hopefully this building's really playable within. If you can get on roof, definitely gonna have to watch out for the hills up here. You can see buildings. I'm sure you can get up there. There's a lot of verticality on this map, which I kind of like because there's a lot of cover provided by trees. Royal Cabana Resort. Pristine sandy beaches, great surfing, clusters of cabana huts, and a stately main hotel structure were on offer to the well-heeled traveler at the Royal Cabana Resort. Operators dropping into Caldera should expect to see the deserted remains of the resort and a main thoroughfare offering quick access by vehicle. There's also a small square and clock tower bus station and the hotel entrance itself. The grounds of the resort are large and lush with shallow pools, ferns, and palm trees to thoroughly explore. Hopefully, just like I keep saying about all the buildings, it's very playable inside. I hate how many buildings and rooms and stuff are blocked off in Verdansk. Hopefully, just like I had with on top of the Capitol building, hopefully this clock tower doesn't have a good sniper point with just one-way entry. I expect a lot of people to... This seems like a place to land. Seems like there might be a lot of loot, just like probably here too. These big buildings tend to have a lot of loot, as we've seen with train station, superstore, not so much airport, but hospital. Some of the bigger ones tend to have a lot of loot in it. Warzone Pacific. Oh, that's all for our points of interest, I guess. And now we go into day one, playlist content and Ricochet anti-cheat driver rollout. Outside of Codera, which Vanguard owners can access on December 8th, man, they're really hammering that home trying to sell Vanguard. Before all players drop in on December 9th, Warzone Pacific will overflow with new content, including all operators and weapons from Vanguard as part of the integration. The Vanguard integration, all operators, weapons, and personalization content coming on December 8th. When Season 1 launches on December 8th, all Warzone players can gain access to everything that Vanguard brought to the arsenal and barracks. 40 weapons, the core 38 weapons from Vanguard's launch, plus 2 free functional weapons in Season 1 Battle Pass. All of these can be personalized with unlocked camouflage, and every ballistic-based weapon can be further customized with up to 10 attachments through Gunsmith. It'll be interesting to see how they balance that and compared with the Cold War and the Modern Warfare weapons that only have 5 attachments. Over a dozen operators, each of the operators from Special Operations Task Force 2 through 5 ready dropping alongside Special Operations Task Force 6 arriving this season. So we'll probably get 2 or 3 more operators if they're going to make it a whole Special Operations Task Force, or they could build it out over seasons. We'll have to wait and see. It's calling cards, emblems, and more. Show off your progress in Vanguard since launch to everyone in Warzone. At the start of the season, cross-progression with Vanguard and Warzone will be enabled, allowing you to rank up through seasonal prestige and unlock new content through the Battle Pass and challenges. Also expect the store in both games to contain new bundles featuring Vanguard content. Vanguard Royale. Explore all new content with dogfighting, updated land vehicles. I'm really looking forward to this because of the dogfighting. I love dogfighting games. I love in World War II games when they would have it as a mission. I'm really excited to try out the Vanguard Royale. Maybe more than I am for the new map and regular Battle Royale. Prepare for the action to heat up both on land and in the air. Available to all players on December 9th, with Vanguard players gaining exclusive play access. They're really pushing this on December 8th. With Caldera, Vanguard Royale leads Season 1's featured playlist rotation with a game mode that puts a fresh set of vehicles and streamlined loadout and weapon pool in the brand new map. Specifically, there are 2 major differences between Vanguard Royale and traditional Battle Royale. New vehicles and dogfighting. Fly fighter planes that rain down fire on foes or heads of the AA guns or trucks to shoot them out of the skies. I don't know why that was so hard for me. There are also other ground-based vehicles, including a squad transport all-terrain car that will help your squad cut through and around the island. A focus on Vanguard weapons. Loadouts can only contain Vanguard weaponry, streamlining the meta for more accessibility and room for experimentation. Expect all weapons around the island to also be Vanguard. Operator selection is also limited to Vanguard soldiers. Circle collapse changes, in-games events, and more. The radii and times for circle collapse are altered to offer a different pace of play, especially with dogfighting overhead. Also expect an in-game event at each circle collapse, bombing runs, and different items within Caldera's overworld and contract rewards. So I think it's on the full Caldera map. It's just going to be a Vanguard-only Royale mode. Rebirth Island. Vanguard owners will receive 20... They're pushing it again. During the initial period, all Warzone players will drop on Rebirth Island. After the exclusive period, Caldera becomes accessible to all players with Rebirth Island returning later in Season 1. Expect a special one-day-only Rebirth Island playlist, both Resurgence and Mini Royale, to drop right at the start of the season before everything shifts to Caldera for the week starting on December 9th. During the season, featured playlists will include returns to Rebirth Island for Resurgence and other game modes, and new limited-time modes will focus on Caldera, such as Vanguard Plunder, its own Vanguard Resurgence mode, presented by Beenox, and other festive surprises. If you don't know Beenox, it's another company under the Activision umbrella that is now working on PC optimization, I believe. I believe that's their main task, as well as helping with other Warzone stuff. The finer points, innovations and additions to the Warzone experience. With an entire new map to explore, playlists to claim victory on, fresh armaments to utilize, expect additional initiatives and gameplay innovation from all studios who work on Warzone, especially Raven Software, Beenox, Toys for Bob, and High Moon Studios, including some taken after listening to community feedback. Part of the initial wave of content planned for a period around December 8th, launch for Vanguard players, and December 9th for all players includes the following. They just keep pushing that. The Gulag drop back in ready for combat. The Gulag now gives you more than a second chance at victory. When Warzone Pacific drops, any player who wins a Gulag will drop back in with the weapon or weapons and lethal equipment giving to them during the deadly duel. This was so welcome during Iron Trials, and I really missed it without Iron Trials. I just think it's horrible with no loot if it's late in the game and you land in with the starting pistol. Everyone either has loadout, ground loot, whatever it is. Those who survived Iron Trials 84, the mode where this feature was first tested, may know a pro strategy involving loadout conservation. Any ammo and remaining equipment carries over between the Gulag and the redeploy. Deal with the enemy efficiently, and you will have more at your disposal back in Caldera. Loadout items and field upgrades. Dead Silence is being nerfed. Thank God. Stopping powers rounds are gone. Amazing. In addition to detailing those exact changes, Raid Software looked closely at various equipment pieces such as nerfs to stun grenades and heartbeat sensors. They also took a look at dual-wield melee weapons, the Kali Stick and Sai, to give justice to all ghosts who lived a second life too short during the haunting. The results: expect the aforementioned equipment and weaponry to be adjusted to be less potent in Warzone, thank God, along with gun butting no longer being the primary method of attack on Caldera. Another change involves loadout drop markers. They can now only be purchased by buy stations after the loadout drop event occurs in the match, effectively shifting their usefulness from an immediate power spike to a more tactical choice in the mid to end game. I have mixed feelings about this. It's nice knowing, hey, I can buy a loadout, I can go push, I can kill. But it's also nice for people, and I don't necessarily like this. I'd prefer the way it was. But for people who aren't as skillful at looting or completing contracts and don't get money as fast, don't have a disadvantage because the sweaty team won super, got 10 grand, and 1 minute into the game, they're popping loadout, pushing around, killing. So it's good for that. But for the players that value their skills, it's probably an iffy change, like how I feel it is. Along with these nerfs, several lethal and tactical equipment pieces will see much needed buffs. Most lethal equipment will deal more damage, while the snapshot grenade will see its effective radius increase. The stim will also apply a slight movement boost, which it should have because it does that in multiplayers. And the decoy grenade will pack rubber bullets that deal just enough damage to pester the enemies. That's a really interesting change, but I still think you're just going to see stuns and heartbeat. It said that we're getting a nerf to heartbeat sensors. It might be like a battery. I know especially Iceman Isaac has been hounding on that. I don't mind that. I love heartbeats. I've also tried to get off the crutch. Stun grenades, hopefully the big nerf is taking aim assist off of stun grenades. You know, you get stunned, you lose your aim assist till you're unstunned. Because mouse and keyboard players literally can't turn. And as controller players, we easily turn on people when we're stunned. Gas masks and explosive canisters. Gas masks won't interrupt as many actions they did previously, making it easier to pull your mask off or on, as well as plating up or reloading weapons while getting out of the circle collapse, but always favoring the combat advantage to those safely inside the circle. Gas masks may offer a modicum of protection against gas canisters, a brand new item developed by High Moon Studios. If these canisters explode, they release the same noxious vapors as those compromising the circle collapse, albeit with a much smaller radius. After picking one up in Caldera, try lighting the fuse and throwing a canister or clipping it into an ascender to send a nice gift to someone who overstayed their welcome on the high ground. That's really interesting. I like that. Because people camp those a lot, especially in sniper points, and that will do something about that. Alternatively, since it requires both hands to carry, simply shooting someone carrying it or dropping one you're carrying, stepping out of the blast radius, and firing at it could make it effective during a few moments of an active firefight. Shallow water. While operators aren't getting their sea legs in Caldera, they are now able to wade through the shallow water seen in areas like Lagoon. Walking with the waters makes it harder to see footsteps, even to those operators with the tracker perk equipped. Crouch in knee-high water and you gain the effects of cold-blooded, but you cannot go prone. That's really interesting. So they didn't do swimming, but they found a happy medium to involve water within the map and not just surrounding it. Well, also, giving you some advantages and not introducing this all-new mechanic. Speaking of science, fire-based equipment now causes smoke when hits water, adding to a new layer of tactics when traversing through open, shallow pools. Interesting. So if you carry thermites or Molotov cocktails, you now effectively have a smoke grenade in an emergency, provided you're in water. Contracts and public events. During a match, squads can find new contracts to complete, such as supply drop contract, which airlifts a valuable crate onto the map for anyone to pick up, but only has its exact location revealed by the contracted squad. Another is Big Game Bounty, which targets the operator with the highest kill count, but only once per game, while another, known as Top Secret Contract, is one you could expect redacted until you pick it up, but comes with greater rewards compared to the standard loot from the contract types it chooses from. So I assume it's just not on the map and you can find it within buildings, kind of like how all loot actually is. As for public events, expect restocks and resurgence from Rebirth Island to come to Caldera. Resurgence, I don't really care about coming, but the restock's nice. If you get a restock in your game, you come back from Gulag, you got your Gulag weapons, but let's say you have whatever shotguns in the Gulag at that time. And you're like, oh no. You get a restock, now you can go find some ARs and SMGs. In addition to cash drop events you may have seen during Operation Flashback, there are also rumors of redacted weapon crates that can appear around the island, which contain coveted redacted weapon blueprints seen at Verdansk and armaments extracted from the metaphor galaxy brains of the studio's gunsmith gurus. Be sure to check in closer to Season 1 with Riven Software for patch notes and other important fine detailed updates, as well as Beanox for anything related to PC-related changes. So here I'm thinking, they want to see a gun in meta. Maybe statistically it is. We haven't figured it out. They're gonna put these in these weapon blueprint crates. And wow, this gun's really good with these attachments. Maybe this is a new meta. They might try to influence the meta that way. Ricochet anti-cheat driver to roll out with Warzone Pacific Season 1. As part of the Season 1 update, Ricochet anti-cheat will deploy a new internally developed kernel-level driver on PC to assist in identifying cheaters in Warzone. This will allow players to focus on fun new offerings in Warzone Pacific as Team Ricochet fights unfair play with its new anti-cheat security initiative. The kernel-level driver is coming to Warzone and will be required for all PC players as of this update. The kernel-level driver will subsequently be released for Vanguard at a later date. Uncover Caldera through the Secrets of the Pacific, limited time event in Warzone and Vanguard. We already know about this. It's been in the game for a week and a half now, so we already know about that. More Season 1 intel inbound. Caldera and Warzone Pacific are just beginning for all the free content to be offered in Season 1 of Call of Duty, Vanguard, and Warzone. Head back soon and expect to learn about 2 free functional weapons, new operators, zombies, content, multiplayer modes, and 2 maps all coming on December 8th. That includes a Pacific-inspired take on a fan-favorite classic Call of Duty map. Later in the season, expect the 2 other operators, Special Operations Forces 006, so you'll probably have your main one in the Battle Pass, and you'll have 1 or 2 new ones in the store. An additional core multiplayer map and a returned small team tactical mode, more information on what's coming soon in Zombies, and other free weapon unlock via challenges, and a festive celebration across both games, so for Christmas, all of which and much more are locked and loaded to carry us through the holiday season and the new year. Check back in with Call of Duty blog to get all the intel. Until then, rise on every front. Lot to unpack there. Like I said, I'll have this all linked down below if you want to go over it yourself. Reread it, look at the images, read the ones I mistakenly didn't read. That's all going to be here. Looks like there's a lot coming. As soon as Raven puts out patch notes for Warzone, I'll jump right on those, put a video out for that. I'll keep my eye out for that, or any other information that comes out about Caldera, Warzone Pacific, Vanguard Royale, whatever it is. I'll have all that. Like I said, I'll have this link down below. Also, my video from earlier today linked down below, so check those out. But if this video was helpful for you, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more. Comment down below what you think of all the changes coming, like Dead Silence being nerfed, stopping power gone, stuns, heartbeat nerfs, all that. Let me know what you think of that, the changes on the new map, some of the new mechanics. Let me know down below. But I'll see you on Verdansk Rebirth Island, and before you know it, I'll see you on Caldera. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.